Hi everyone, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing my February goals and the action steps I will be taking to make progress on these goals throughout the month. If you haven't seen my 2022 annual goals video yet, I definitely suggest going to check that out first because all of my monthly goals are based off of my annual goals for the year. So I will go ahead and leave that video down in the description box below. Definitely go check that one out. As you can see, I have set a few goals in each of the 8 categories in my MakseLife planner. And then I have used the PowerSheets goal setting planner to break down each of these goals into monthly, weekly, and daily actions. So first, let's talk about my goals, and then we'll talk about how I plan on taking action. We're just gonna go in order by category. So let's start first with the personal category. The first personal goal has to do with my annual goal of completing an entire year's worth of memory planning. And so the first goal is to complete my January memory spreads. The second goal here is tied to my overarching goal of keeping up with goal setting, and that is to create a vision board. I have never actually completed a vision board before, and since I am really focused on finding joy in the little things and embracing everything that comes my way this year, I really want to create a vision board that kind of ties into my word of the year. So that's kind of a little project I'm hoping to get done this month. In the fun and recreation category, my first goal is to finish 4 books. This ties into my read 50 books goal for the year, and I'm already starting off a little bit behind. I only got 2 books read in January, and I'm working on finishing a 3rd book, which is a much longer book, and that's kind of why I've gone behind a little bit, but hopefully I will be able to get on track next month. My second goal is to have a weekly board game night. I talked about in my annual goals that I really want to make time intentionally for my hobbies every single week. And so I'm going to start off by just making sure that we are scheduling at least 1 board game night. Chris collects tons of board games, so board games are kind of our thing. And then the third goal I have is to make Saturday a content creation day. Normally I do all of my filming and some editing on Sundays, but it feels like I'm just piling all of it into one day. And then I have to start getting ready for the week. And I really would prefer that Sundays be a day I can relax a little bit more. So I'm making it a goal that for the month of February, I try to create all of my content and do most of the editing on Saturday, because around this time of year, I don't really have a whole lot going on Saturdays, so I really want to just utilize that as my YouTube day. And then moving on to the work and learning category, I have 1 goal this month, and that is to create a sub binder. So one of my annual goals for work and learning is to get organized in my classroom and create systems that will reduce stress. And one of those projects that I really need to get done is creating my emergency sub plans and having what we call a sub tub that anybody can easily come into your classroom and have everything they need to teach your class. So it's a little bit of a project considering I teach 6 different grade levels and I have to be able to have plans that could fit each of those grades. So I'm kind of hoping to chunk this project out month by month, and I'm just going to start first with creating the binder where I have all of the important information, class schedules, classroom rules, contact info, where to find certain materials, that sort of thing. So we're going to start first with the sub binder. Moving on to the family and relationships category, my first goal here is to prep February and March birthdays. This ties into my annual goal of proactively planning for birthdays each month. So I didn't have any January birthdays to worry about, but in February I have Jane's birthday, and in March, right at the beginning of March, I have Chris's 30th birthday. And so that's going to require me getting everything ready this month in order to be prepared for his birthday at the beginning of March. And then I also just want to make sure I'm either sending cards or Facebook messages to anyone else in my life that has February or March birthdays. And then my second goal for family and relationships is to host a family or friend. This also ties into my annual goal of hosting friends or family once a month. I wanted to be more specific with this and actually make a decision on who I'm going to invite and what we're gonna do. But I didn't plan that far in advance. So hopefully Chris and I can have a conversation about what we want to do this month, whether that's a board game night with some friends or having parents over for dinner, something along those lines. Okay, let's move over to the health and wellness category. My first goal here is to complete a 30-day yoga challenge on YouTube with Yoga with Adriene. If you're unfamiliar with Yoga with Adriene, she is a YouTube channel that provides tons and tons and tons of at-home yoga videos, and that's what I've been doing to kind of get myself back in the swing of exercising. And so I do have a goal to exercise every week, and although it's a little bit of a stretch to try and exercise every single day, I feel like this is a good challenge for me because it's only one type of exercise, which is yoga. I'm not trying to do too many things, so I think that that's something I want to go for. And if, I don't do it every single day, I think as long as I am trying to be active as many days as I can, then that's kind of the point of that goal. My second goal is to try a new recipe because I have an annual goal of trying to cook one new recipe a month. So obviously I had to throw that in here for February. And then my third goal ties into creating an evening routine. And so what I kind of wanted to do here was start with one thing that I want to do every evening. Last month, I started reading scripture every night as part of an evening routine. So now I want to implement something new, and that is engaging in some sort of wind down activity about an hour before bed. So I'm not specifying on what that activity is because I want it to be whatever feels right that day. So maybe one day I'm gonna do a meditation. Maybe another day I'm just gonna take a bath. And then maybe another day that looks like drinking some tea. Whatever it is, the entire point is to get myself calm and relaxed and start winding down my brain a little bit in order to get myself in the mindset of bedtime, because I really, really struggle with going to bed at a decent time. And I think that this would be really beneficial to helping me kind of switch my mindset from getting a ton of things done to, okay, now we're trying to relax and shut our brains off. Then moving on to the spiritual and personal growth category, my first goal here is to complete weeks 4 through 7 of scriptures. Right now, I am using a Bible study for 52 weeks, and each week has a select amount of readings. Last month, I was just tracking my readings every day as a daily habit, but I decided that this month I'm going to track it as a weekly habit because there are 6 readings every week, and then on Sunday, the 7th day, you can use that day to catch up on any readings you've missed. So I'm not going to be so worried about, am I reading every single night? I'm going to try instead to focus more on, am I getting the readings for that week done? Whether that's reading 2 in one night, or, reading 4 nights of the week, it doesn't really matter as long as I am completing each week. And then my second goal here is to try to journal once a week. This was kind of a personal category, but I feel like it also falls under spiritual and personal growth. But along with memory planning, I also want to try and journal and do gratitude. I'm already doing gratitude in my daily planner each day. So I want to try to start journaling again, but I'm going to try to keep it simple by just journaling one time a week. I'm not going to try to make it a nightly thing with my evening routine because, again, I don't want to complicate the evening routine too quickly and then not be able to keep up with it. So we're just going to shoot for once a week. I'm going to try to journal. And I think I'm going to try to do that on Sunday nights when I'm also wrapping up my scripture readings. Let's move on to the financial category. I have 3 goals here. The first goal is to have our budget meeting. Chris and I want to have a budget meeting every single month. And so that's something that we are obviously going to try to do probably right at the beginning of the month, just to kind of see where we're at and what our goals are as far as spending wise for that month. And then my second goal is to track my expenses. I kind of go back and forth on if I want to track them weekly or daily, but as you'll see in my tending list, I think I'm going to try to track them daily. I use the Dave Ramsey budgeting app, and it makes it really, really easy because you can connect your bank account, and then I can just pull up any of my purchases and then automatically tie them to a category and easily track it. So that's something that should only take a couple minutes every day. And then my last goal here is to spend less than $100 on stickers. This is something that's not necessarily an action, but when I go to order my stickers this month, I want to keep it underneath that $100 mark because I'm just trying to find little ways that I can cut back each month, and this is a small thing that I can focus on this month. And then the last category, physical environment, I only have one goal here, and that is to try using my weekly cleaning pad. I have a notepad, I think it's from Erin Condren, that provides checklists for each day of the week. And I want to try to start utilizing that for cleaning. Actually, I have it right here. Let me pull it out. So this is what it looks like. It's just a cleaning checklist, and you can write down each day of the week what you want to do to kind of keep up with your cleaning. And Chris and I just cleaned the entire house. It's the very end of January. And so I just want to make sure we are upkeeping that so that way we don't have to do all the heavy cleaning in one day. So this is tied towards my annual goal of coming up with a cleaning routine in our house. So I'm just going to start with this, and I'm going to kind of use this to experiment what days can we get what done and kind of just play around with the idea of a cleaning schedule. So I'm just gonna track this by using it every week to see how it kind of all pans out. All right, so those are all of my February goals. The next thing I want to do is pull out my PowerSheets planner and show you how I plan on taking action on these goals this month. So as you can see in this planner, I kind of used this section over here to write out my monthly, weekly, and daily ideas, and then I kind of highlighted them by category so that I could organize them over here, and this is what I came up with. Okay, so for my encouraging words for the month, I wrote down, a goal without a plan is just a wish. You've got this. And then my priority is to plan ahead. The reason I picked this quote is because I feel like I do just want to get started on my goals, but I also know the easiest way to do that is to have a plan and actually implement these into my plans every week. So that's going to be a huge focus for me. So then as you can see, I took each of my February goals and broke them down into action items. So I actually put these in Roy G. Biv order just so the stickers would look pretty, but it honestly doesn't really matter. So my first monthly action item is to create my sub binder. And I thought about breaking this down into multiple steps, but obviously I don't really have enough room to do that. So I'm just keeping it at one action item, and then over here I will just track my progress. So like if one day I work on printing out a schedule and putting it into the binder, then I can fill a little bit out. And then hopefully I'll have the entire bar filled out because I will have an entire sub binder created by the end of the month. The second monthly action item is to finish 4 books. That one is pretty self-explanatory. My third and fourth monthly action items are tied to my vision board. So I did decide to break this one up into 2 separate actions. The first action is to just map out my vision board. So that will include collecting photos, kind of sketching out what I want it to look like. And then my second action item is to actually create it, get my photos printed or however I plan on doing it and creating it. The next monthly action item is to just have the budget meeting for my financial goal. The next action item is to try my new recipe. Again, super easy to write in as one action item. And then the next 3 are all in the family and relationships category. The first one is to organize birthdays. So this is kind of organizing all of the birthdays this year, getting every single birthday written down into a planner of some sort, and then having all of those written down and ready to go. And then the second goal is tied to prepping for the February and March birthdays, and I just put purchase cards and gifts. And then the last monthly action item is to invite someone over. So then we move on to weekly action items. My first 2 weekly actions are tied to my fun and recreation category. So we have my board game night and my Saturday filming. Then the next one is to complete my January memory spreads. I decided to put this as a weekly action instead of a monthly action because I kind of wanted to take it 1 week at a time. So then each January memory spread that I complete, I can check it off by the week number. Then the next two categories were my spiritual and personal growth goals to read my scriptures and journal once a week. And then the last one is to use my cleaning pad. So that's actually a lot of weekly action items. I don't tend to do a whole lot by week. Normally, I do a lot more daily action items, but I think that this is a great way to kind of start easing into the daily habits. So then that leaves us with 3 daily action items. The first one is to track my expenses using the Dave Ramsey budgeting app. And then the last 2 are my health and wellness goals, to do the 30-day yoga challenge every day and engage in some sort of bedtime wind down activity each night. So that is how I plan on tracking my progress on all of my February goals. I will also use the weekly actions page here in the MakseLife planner. So I will kind of take a look at the tending list and transfer it to this planner. So that way I can see, okay, what all do I need to get done this week? And then I can track it in this planner. And I love having this page to kind of see my progress throughout the month and have it all in one place. It makes it really, really easy to see how well you're doing with keeping up with your goals. So that is it for my February goals. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer as best as I can. I am by no means a goal expert. I am continuing to learn and get better at setting my goals, and this goal setting series is just a way for me to continue to hold myself accountable and also kind of just share my journey with you guys and maybe give you guys some tips and ideas on how you can also work on your own goals. I will be sure to check back in with you guys at the end of February for my March goals video. Also, keep an eye out over on my Instagram. I plan on actually posting my progress throughout the month. So if you're interested in seeing it there, definitely go check it out. I'm going to get better about posting on my Instagram. I am determined. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next goal video. Bye guys!